do dynamic things, and what do you hope to achieve?
Well, as you know, I've had the privilege to sing for the last 3 presidents, last 2, and President Obama, pushing for Caribbean American integration. We can talk about it all we want. If we don't do something about it, it goes nowhere. I've been saying to the Department of Defense that House Resolution 71 needed to be emphasized. In other words, the Department of Defense was working the Latinos, the Asians, but not much was heard. In 2005, Dr. Claire Nelson, a good friend of mine and stuff, wrote a bill, and Congresswoman Barbara Lee piloted the bill. The bill was unanimously passed in Congress and Senate. President Bush signed the bill. Right after they're talking about a year to settle in, and since then, Georgia has been, I think Georgia has taken the lead, actually, in right behind Washington, D.C., in pushing Caribbean American heritage. We have a lot of West Indians, a lot of Caribbean folks who don't know that House Resolution 71 was passed. My job, basically, I use the medium of music, and people really couldn't connect the dots with gospel, this House Resolution 71. I use my music to attract. I started off, I was at Buckingham Palace, sang for the Queen of England.
Wow.
Got a proclamation in 2000, and prior to that, I can't remember, I spent a number of years on the streets, living on the streets. So,
wow.
Coming up to the U.S., every time I talk about it and stuff, it really brings me to tears, because from the trash, if you had seen me and stuff years ago, living in the trash piles in Trinidad and Tobago, and you told me years later that I would be in the greatest arsenal in the world,
singing for
in the
president
White House
and at Buckingham Palace,
working with members
Wow.
of the United States Congress, working at, Fort Stewart, I would tell you that you don't really know what you're talking about. And when we did this thing at Cathedral in 2005, and all these leaders and stuff was there, nobody no longer was asking, how are you going to put the dots and stuff together? Now, how this comes in is very, very simple. As an immigrant, I looked at this, and I wanted to get the word out on who we are. Americans, people in this country, are extremely patriotic when it comes to this. But after September 11th, and being in New York when that plane landed, I was there. I was pushed. I was really, really pushed to do something.
Wow.
But even in this, I have an opportunity